Revelator. To face the Revelator is to be stripped of pretense and laid bare before the fires of judgment. In its presence, the flames of an angry god refuses to wane, persisting to cleanse the world. The screams of the guilty serve as litanies, and the crackle and hiss of their flesh an enduring choir. For those who have turned aside from the Creator, this colossal represents the inevitable termination of tragic and misguided lives. The Protectorate have once shouldered the burdens demanded by its faith to outpace the industry of larger nations through sheer will and determination. Forged in the fires of faith and empowered by some of the nation's holiest relics, the fires of this new colossal burn brightly. Each Revelator contains a furitory within which is sealed a precious fragment of the shattered altar removed from the first great temple of Palacia, where priest King Valent the Thrace brought the word of the Creator to his congregation. Previously, the remnants of that altar had been preserved within the great temple of the Creator in Sol. The Viscos decided such relics would be better employed in active service, bringing their holy power to the front line of the crusade through these towering machines. Just as the Judicator harnessed the holiness of sacred remains, the Revelator harvests the concentrated faith and sanctity of ancient artifacts to spectacular effect. Through the holy power accumulated in its furitory, the Revelator renders all heathens' attempts at concealment futile. The pious believe this power is a gift from the heroes of faith watching from Arcane. Hidden foes seen by the Revelator can be revealed to Menoth's Crusader through a pair of Lightbringers cannons, as any that survive direct fire are emblazoned with holy illumination, marking them for destruction. Each of these blessed cannons is painstakingly engraved and appointed with hundreds of hours of intense prayer by novice and initiate priests, led by those who supervise the cleansing of all mechanica that is produced by the Solminite artificers. Once transgressors have fallen beneath its all-seeing gaze, the Revelator unleashes the fury of its conflagrator cannons, each firing ordnances containing refined Menoth's fury. Before being encased in the ammunition, the volatile substance is treated with thickening agents, allowing it to burn for longer periods of time once set alight. Enemies of the faith who meet the colossal in battle are awestruck at the sight of its holy wrath, though such enemies persist as little more than ashes on the wind. So this guy is definitely more of a fire starter than his flamethrower cousin, brother, whatever you want to call it. And I find it interesting that this guy, instead of using bodies of priests, he uses artifacts from the holy order, which it really does say how much they saturate all their stuff with the holy faith of the Protectorate of Menoth. So, and if anything, Menoth is still technically the god who created humans. So, like, he is a very real being in this. It's not just, you know where we are. But let's read his Mark IV stats and see how much more dangerous this guy is in Mark IV. Alrighty, it looks like we have 28 points. He's a little cheaper than the Judicator. He has a field allowance 2, so you can have 2 of these guys. Still health box 60. Still has breakthrough, trample, slam, pathfinder, headbutt. He still has dual attack, and he is still a construct. His abilities still include bulldoze, so when this model is base to base with an enemy model during its normal movement, it can push that model up to 2 inches directly away from it. A model can only be pushed by bulldoze once per turn. Bulldoze has no effect when this model is making a trample power attack. And then his second ability is Ferretory, or Ferretory, F-E-R-E-T-O-R-Y. If you guys know how to pronounce this, please explain it down in the comments below, because we all know I'm really good at mispronouncing a lot of things. But what this ability does is this model ignores concealment and stealth. Additionally, this model's weapons gain damage type magical. While its S system is disabled, it loses the benefit of Ferretory. Alright, so this guy ignores concealment and stealth, which makes him crazy good. Now, he does not ignore cover, unfortunately, but he does ignore concealment and stealth, so he looks through clouds. Not through clouds, but he looks into clouds without having any kind of problem, and he can pick out models that like to be hidden in the realm of that setup. But let's check out his weapons to see how he uses this to his advantage. So his first weapon, ranged, conflagrators. He has 2 of them. He has a rate of 5, range of 10, rate of fire 1. Since he has 2, he's going to be shooting twice. He's a fire damage and it has the critical fire effect. So if he gets a crit, it will stay on your opponent. And it's a power of 15, which is hard hitting. This guy will actually damage heavy warjacks as well. Unlike a lot of other more light arms fire, this actually can do some real solid damage. This one has a special ability on it. So it has Eruption of Ash. On a direct hit, when a model is boxed by this attack made with this weapon, center a 3-inch cloud template on the boxed model and then remove it from play. The template is a hazard that remains in play for 1 round. Enemy models entering or ending their activation in the AoE suffer a POW 12 damage roll. Well, at least it doesn't cause them to catch on fire, but having the ability to leave a POW 12 damage roll anywhere without having to roll to hit is always a very useful, and it actually can actually help a lot more board control as well. So yeah, very useful. And at a POW 15, he's probably going to kill like whatever he shoots if it's just like a small base model, because even with armor and stuff like that on small base models, or even medium base models, that's still a POW 15. So that's gonna do something. Now, Rat 5, is he going to hit super dodgy? Probably not super often, but there's probably ways to make that work. Let's move on to his second range weapon. He has 2 Lightbringers. So they are a Rat 5, range 14, much farther range than his other weapon. Rate of fire 1, fire attack, and it's a POW 12. Does not cause fire continuous effect, unfortunately, but he does have flare on it. So on a direct hit, models hit by this attack lose stealth and suffer -2 defense for 1 turn. Now this is phenomenal because it removes stealth, and anytime you can remove stealth, especially from 14 inches away, that is remarkably nice, and lowers defense by 2. That is worth its weight in gold, especially on very dodgy targets. Because if you can get their defense down just a little bit, it's always going to be to your advantage. And as somebody who plays Retribution in the elves, especially the Mage Hunter elves, where all of my guys have stealth, this would destroy pretty much all of them. So yeah, having the ability to remove stealth is phenomenal. But he does have 2 fists as well. It is a Mat 6, range 2, and POW 21, and they are open fist weapons, so he can pick up, throw, and do all the fun stuff that you would normally be able to do with the open fist icon. So yes, this guy does have more ranged weapons. Now, he doesn't have any AoE weapons, unfortunately, but he is a very, very much a guy that you want to get on your team if you're going up against a very dodgy and or stealthy type of army, because, well, he can see them, and then he can allow his other guys to see them too. So if you're running like a very heavy ranged army against an army like that, this guy is worth his weight in gold, and he's a Colossus too, which means he's going to look over most people. And he's probably going to be a target of most people, because Colossus are always the target of everybody. But yes, in those bigger battles where you want to start clearing out stealth models, this is your guy to have.